Okay, I think I'm going. I think we're going. Are we going? It looks like it. Hey, good morning. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo, with yet another episode of Redstone, Lapis, Lazuli. It is I, your host. Yeah, check it out. Pogo Kiddo, Rob, whatever you want to call me. Alright, so let's see. Let me switch back here to Bedrock. Look, it doesn't crash. Alright, so this is, I have made a house. I have upgraded our so this is not just mine, right? I'm on a server with this, I think, 7-year-old kid from Japan named JJ. Yeah, I'm building this house in coordination with him. Really, he doesn't really do a whole lot. He just does a few things, and I like interpret the rest for it. And then, because he's like 7, he doesn't know anything about Minecraft. So like that's up to me to teach him. So yeah, so I upgraded our house. I like a lot, man. I spent a lot of time. I had to go find dripstone. I had to make this what's this? This is a furnace array. And then I went to the nether and got the nether wart and the blaze rods for the brewing stand. Yeah, this isn't as smooth for you as it is normally because there's no motion blur. So, like, Bedrock, yeah, is not as cool as Java, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. And then, check it out, I have 2 zombie villagers waiting to be cured of their madness, which I will do because they will become the seed for the iron farm because we're so desperately poor for iron. It's so bad. Over here, this is... What? Okay, let me sleep. Yeah, we're so desperately poor for iron. That's the thing about Minecraft, is that it's really hard early game because you have no iron. It's really, really hard to get iron. Even if you find iron, it gets used up so quickly that it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get some more coffee. More coffee, more coffee, more coffee, more coffee. More coffee! So yes, welcome, happy Sunday. We've made it to yet another Sunday. In the year. In the year 2024. In the year 2024. Ooh, God, nice. A fresh bag of coffee, man. The first cup from the fresh bag of coffee is so good. Oh yeah, dude, so good. Okay, yeah. So I have this our little kitchen right here. We got the farm going. I got a little like, composter set up here. This right here is your basic chicken farm, like automatic chicken farm. The chickens are all in there. There's lots of them. I found out there's no such thing as entity cramming in Bedrock. So you can cram in as many people as you can into a spot. Look at that. And they won't die. They'll just get more and more filled up. You can fit in unlimited guides there. It's incredible. And since I'm not the server, I don't care. So in this setup, the chickens, the many chickens in there, they lay eggs automatically, and they're sitting on top of hoppers. So as soon as they lay an egg, it goes into the hopper and goes into this dispenser, and then it gets shot out. You saw there was one there. It gets shot out. And then there's a 1 in 16 chance that the egg that gets shot out becomes a baby chicken, which is, you know, what you see in there, a bunch of baby chickens. So as a baby chicken, they're immune to the lava. You can see their head poking out, but they're immune to the lava until the moment when they grow up. Once they grow up, they get burned by the lava, and then they die and get turned into cooked chicken. But it's pretty slow. Like, I've had to rely on this for food. So like, I'm not so sure it's such a good idea, but whatever, it's set up. Then we got our regular farms. I'm gonna like eventually turn this into a sheep farm, a rainbow sheep farm. And then the cows are only useful until I get like golden carrots. And then I'll stop killing cows and pigs. Because yeah, I need cows and pigs for food. But to get them, you have to kill them. So I try to minimize killing. Anyways. not so hot right now in the beginning because like I'm all about killing in the beginning, but once I a lot in this world, then we can do away with the violence. And so yeah, I'm playing here with a 7-year-old kid, and this kid doesn't know anything about Minecraft. So he'll come into my world and he'll like go through all my boxes and find whatever good stuff there is and take it. Nether and die with it. So it's all gone. And then I made this jail. This isn't the first time I made it. This is the second group. The first group, he came in, killed he saw the villagers trapped in there and he killed them. So I was like, oh my god, it took me so long to do that. I had to communicate with him through his dad, not to kill the zombie villagers until I can rescue them. So yeah. Such as Minecraft, right? I've worked a lot the land to make it flat. It wasn't so flat before, but I've been working it, work that land. You can tell this is really different from Java Minecraft because there's hardly any grass anywhere. There's hardly any grass. It's all pretty clean. Whereas if you look at Java Minecraft, there's grass everywhere. So it works a lot, it looks a lot prettier in Java Minecraft. But whatever, the clean look is nice too, I like the clean look. And it runs like amazingly well. Well, I wouldn't say amazingly well. In order to run it like this, I had to use AMD's super resolution or whatever. So basically AMD has finally caught up to NVIDIA and has created basically their version of DLSS. DLSS for NVIDIA is the process by which they take the resolution, they cut it in half, and then they use their AI to blow it back up to normal size. That way, because they can't do ray tracing at full resolution, they can't do it. So they have to shrink it down to half size, do ray tracing, and then blow it back up with AI to make it look good. Which and it worked great. While I had it. AMD didn't have that. So AMD instead took a long time, and they finally have their version of DLSS, which again you lower the resolution of the game, and then they don't have AI. They use algorithms instead to increase the resolution to full size. So I'm running this at a much lower resolution. Ooh, cherry blossom. But I have no emeralds. Ha 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 ha. But it's alright, right? And the ray tracing, it looks okay. The ray tracing isn't bad. And it looks really good for Bedrock Minecraft. I mean, I prefer Java still, but I can't get the kid to play Java. Like, he has a Switch. He's not going to be playing on a PC. So, and, I'm friends with his dad, and his dad and I are doing collaboration. So we can maybe work this out. Yeah, so this is it, right? I've got like a bridge, and I made a nether portal, and the nether, of course, is very deadly, and we died multiple times in there. What is that? Really? Just a block of obsidian right in the middle of the water, really? Yeah, so since he and I, the dad and I, are working on this project, like, it's kind of cool that we can get the kid involved as well. But yeah, the kid was stealing all my stuff, so I was compelled to get a nether portal or a nether chest to like safeguard my loots. Because it's no fun to spend an hour digging up a bunch of gold just to have a kid come by and take all your gold to make gold armor, and then go in the Nether and die with it, and now you have no gold and no gold armor. So, but he's only 7, so I'm not like rawr at him. I'm just like, let's see how we can fix this. But yeah, I'm pretty low. He made a diamond sword that he dropped too. So whose diamonds? My diamonds. So oh well, whatever. No, c'est la vie. Yeah, c'est la vie. Yeah. So yeah. Good morning, America. What's going on? Well, on Friday, I think it was Friday, the jury came back with the damages for Donald Trump. So Donald Trump had been sued civilly by civil suit against him by a woman by the name of Jean Carroll. So years ago, Donald Trump sexually assaulted Jean Carroll. Remember when Donald Trump said, when you're a star, you can grab them by the pussy, you can do whatever you want? Donald Trump didn't just say that, he really believes it. He really believes that because he's a star and that he can do whatever he wants with women, with any woman, because he's a star. He thinks he's a star. So he found this woman, Jean Carroll, and literally grabbed her by the pussy. He literally like tore open her stockings and shoved his fingers up her pussy. Sexual assault, dude. Like, if I tried that shit, I would get like arrested instantaneously. So Donald Trump like shoved his fingers up the pussy of Jean Carroll, and like years ago, and like there was a bunch of people who witnessed it and like were around, and they all testified to it. So because it's too far away in the past to file a criminal charge, they instead did a civil charge, and the judge and Donald Trump's lawyers did not sign up for a jury. They didn't sign up for a jury. Instead, they got a bench trial because the lawyers didn't sign up for a jury. Donald Trump's lawyers didn't sign up for a jury, and the judge found that Donald Trump engaged in sexual assault. The judge is like, yep, upon the review of the evidence, I think Donald Trump, or like it's clear Donald Trump engaged in sexual assault. The witnesses, the testimony, everything lines up with it. It was funny because at one point, Donald Trump was given kept saying, "Oh, she's not my type. She's not my type." Then he was given a picture with Jean Carroll in it, and he thought Jean Carroll was his ex-wife Marla Mapes, which is his type. He cheated on Ivanka Trump with Marla Mapes. And he thought that Jean Carroll was Marla Mapes. So for sure she was his type, which is why he attacked her. Anyways, the first defamation trial, Donald Trump lost, and he was ordered to pay $5 million. But because Donald Trump is rich, that did nothing to him, right? Like $5 million is like chump change to Donald Trump. So he ignored the ruling and kept defaming Jean Carroll to show his power, right? He wants to show how powerful he is. So he kept defaming Jean Carroll, even though it cost him like $5 million. Man, I'm peaking still. Let me see. Voice meter banana. Turn this down a little bit. All right. Am I still peaking a little? Not quite. Not as bad. Not as bad. Pretty high up there, but not as bad. All right. So it didn't. So even though he lost and had to pay $5 million, that didn't deter Donald Trump. He kept defaming Jean Carroll and denying the rape happened, and then calling her all sorts of bad names. So what did she do? She recorded all the stuff he said and sued him again. So in the second defamation trial, they did it again, right? Donald Trump's lawyers chose not to get a jury trial. Donald Trump's lawyers instead chose to go with a bench trial. And he lost again because he lost the first time, right? Like nothing changed. And this time the jury awarded Jean Carroll $83 million. So that was able to shut Donald Trump up. He shut up after that. He did not talk about Jean Carroll anymore after he was ordered to pay $83 million. Now, of course, there's the people who say, oh, Jean Carroll's not going to see a dime of that money. Bullshit. In order for Donald Trump to lodge an appeal, he has to first deposit the money that he owes into a bank account with the court. Either he pays the full amount in the bank account or he takes out a bond. What that means is that he pays a corporation, a business, like a fraction, like 10% of the money he owes. And then the bond company puts up the rest of the money. Now, even if he wins the appeal, because he has to do this in order to appeal, even if he wins the appeal, that money he put up for bond is gone. He only he's off the hook as long as he doesn't have, as long as the case is overturned, but it's not going to be overturned. So that money is already deposited in an account waiting for Jean Carroll as soon as Donald Trump loses his appeals. So she's going to get the money. I know a lot of people are saying she's not going to see the money. She's going to get the money. That's why Donald Trump is shutting up now. He's not saying anything. So it turns out if you want to make Donald Trump shut up, make him pay $80 million every time he says something. That's a good way. So that's good, right? Because like there's been so many losses for women in the United States. Like they just lost the right to their own bodies because of the corrupt Supreme Court. Men are incentivized to rape women knowing that the women will be forced by the state to carry their kid to term. So that's pretty bad. I mean, how could a woman trust any man at this point? Knowing that the man could rape the woman and then the state will force the woman to carry the baby until it's born. Like that's just a big fat reward for rapists. But of course, that's the Republicans, right? Republicans don't view women as people. They view women as baby making factories to make more workers for the capitalists to exploit. So it's good that Jean Carroll got a victory for women. And that's a victory for women, not just, for Jean Carroll, but for all women. Notice how Donald Trump shut the fuck up after that. Alrighty then. Oh, dude, where'd it go? 12, 1, 11, 10. Oh god, it's all messed up again. Hold on, let me find my thing here. Where'd it go, dude? 19, 10, 10, 11, 11, 10, 12, 1. There it is, 128. That's today, right? Yep, 128. So, I don't have a whole lot in store today because I've been playing too much Minecraft. Trying to get this game up, this world up and running. Like, really, it's a struggle until you get an iron farm. Like, I can't find enough iron to satisfy everything. Like, look at my shit, dude. It's about to break. I can't find enough iron to do what I want to do. I can't mine it because the mining it is too slow. I would need to get a fortune enchantment, and I have no way of getting the. I can like randomly hope I can find one. I get one because I have an enchanting table up here. But like it's not likely, right? It's not likely I'm gonna get like check it out like silk touch. So fortune 1. That's not gonna be any good, right? That's not enough. It's better than. And plus, I'm gonna burn all my experience points doing it just to get fortune 1. That's not really worth it, man. And then, yeah, it kind of sucks. Anyways, I'm not gonna do it. So I have to wait until I get an iron farm so I can just pump out the iron pickaxes, and then I have to find a way. I probably have to make a gold farm so I have experience to use the enchanting table. So I mean, like, Minecraft is kind of broken in terms of like advancements. The way that you advance in the game, you have to go to like the end game before you can really enjoy the beginning game. Because I have no iron, so like it's really hard to and you die if you don't have an iron sword. You'll die. A stone sword doesn't do enough damage to defend yourself against mobs. So like it's pretty sketchy in the beginning. Anyways, I don't have much in this on this to talk about. First of all, let's find out about. So let's talk about like what's going on. So currently, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is put out a letter that copied he copied the letters of secession that the Confederacy put out when they seceded from the Union. So Greg Abbott is taking inspiration from the Confederacy and wrote a letter saying that he's not going to abide by the Supreme Court or by federal law. So he's trying to take Texas out of the Union. Now he's saying, oh, it's because the border is a big problem. Well, it didn't seem to be a big problem when Donald Trump was in office, because you guys didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to fix the border when Donald Trump was in office. They put a wall there, but that wall was worthless. It was cost a bunch of money and did nothing to deter people from crossing the border. The one thing that Donald Trump did that stopped illegal immigration. There's one thing he did do something that stopped illegal immigration into the United States. The one thing that Donald Trump did to successfully stop immigration into the United States was that Donald Trump shut down the American economy for COVID. When COVID happened, the United States shut down for like a week to give the government time to figure out a battle plan, and they didn't. Donald Trump's battle plan was to sell ivermectin to idiots who would listen to him instead of their doctors. So America shut down the economy. Well, if you shut down the economy, then immigrants have less reason to come to the United States, because they won't be able to find a job to make money. So Donald Trump's plan to stop illegal immigration into the United States is to shut down the American economy. Well, no, dude, that's gonna kill us. That kills us. If you do that, it's gonna kill us. No one's gonna have any money. Everything's gonna shut down. All of that just to stop people from crossing the border. I think that's a bad, a bad compromise. Let's see, stop people from crossing the border and the United States. No. But So another thing is that we knew this, right? We knew, I knew, as soon as the Republicans took control of the House of Representatives, I understood that they were going to stop aid to Ukraine. Why did I know this? Because Republicans are on board, on the same team as Russia. So they get their money from Russia, they get their intelligence from Russia, they get their candidates from Russia. They're on Team Russia. So as soon as the Republicans took control of the House of Representatives, I knew that they were going to cease aid to Ukraine to help. And why would they cease aid to Ukraine? To help Russia, so it could take over Ukraine. So the thing is, though, the Republicans need cover. They need cover. They can't just say, oh, we're going to cut off Ukraine. No. They need to cover themselves before they do that. So the way they cover themselves is they say, we are not going to fund Ukraine until you solve the border problem. So the border problem that the Republicans couldn't solve when they had control of the government, they expect Joe Biden to solve the problem. And then so Joe Biden and the Democrats are like, all right, let's solve this problem so we can get funding for Ukraine. So of course the Republicans, Democrats work out a deal to solve the problem for the border, and then that way they can fund Ukraine. However, something happened to derail the deal. What happened? Donald Trump phoned the leaders of the Republican Party and said, do not make a deal on immigration. Do not do it. Do not do it. It is more beneficial to Donald Trump to not make a deal on the border. That way Donald Trump can keep talking about Joe Biden's failure on the border. Because Donald Trump ordered the Republicans, don't make a deal. Do not. I know it's a big, say that it's a big emergency, but don't do anything about it. So
and the fact that it's a very important issue for Donald Trump.
Oh, let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, yeah, in-frame media player classic. There we go. Ta-da! Ta-da! Say again, Romney, so Romney's a Republican senator. So he has heard Donald Trump tell the other Republicans don't make a deal. And he's angry about it, right? He's angry about it because he wants to solve the problem with the border, but he can't do it because Republicans refuse, because Donald Trump told them not to.
It's a very important issue for Donald Trump, and the fact that he would communicate to Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really appalling. But the reality is that we have a crisis at the border. The American people are suffering as a result of what's happening at the border. And someone running for president ought to try and get the problem solved, as opposed to saying, hey, save that problem. Don't solve it. Let me take credit for solving it later.
So it's not me saying it. We have a Republican senator confirming that Donald Trump told the Republicans not to solve the border problem, to not make a deal. Because why does Donald Trump not want to solve the border problem? Because by not solving the border problem, they can deny Ukraine funding. And Donald Trump is definitely working with Vladimir Putin. Absolutely. Like that's like a given. Remember, Donald Trump is on Team Russia. So Donald Trump wants to help Russia take over Ukraine. And the way he does that is by stopping the United States from funding Ukraine. And he's hoping that the American voters are too stupid to understand what's going on. And he is right for a lot of Republicans. A lot of Republicans are too stupid to understand it. You can tell them what's going on, but Republicans, because they believe in a cult of personality, they only listen to what Donald Trump says. They refuse to listen to their own eyes and ears, and only listen to what Donald Trump says. So we got Donald Trump sabotaging the border deal so he can deny funding to Ukraine. Oh man, now this is all messed up again. That's 21. Where did I find it at? 28, there we go. I got all these things I don't know what they are anymore. I didn't look in through them. What's this? Proposed Baltimore police and fire training facility has hefty price tag, $330 million. What's this? Remember Cop City in Atlanta, Georgia? Cop City in Atlanta, Georgia is a fake city that the police want to make. They want to bulldoze a forest and create a fake city. The fake city is not for people to live in. Instead, the fake city is for the police to practice urban warfare, so they can better attack the people of Atlanta. And that's what the police do, right? They're trained by the Israelis, in order to attack the people of Baltimore. And it's not just Baltimore, or not just Atlanta. Now they're going to do it in Baltimore too. They're going to expand. That's why we're saying that defund the police, because the police are not there to help you. They're there to control you. And they cost a lot of money in order to control you. That money could be used to better the lives of citizens. But no, instead we're going to build a fake city so cops can practice urban warfare. It's so stupid. So I mean, like, in a way, it shows you that it's white supremacy. What's this? Fuck Donald Trump. Donald Trump is encouraging militias, encouraging Republican governors to side with Greg Abbott in his standoff with the federal government. I mean, Russians really want there to be a civil war in the United States. So it makes sense that Donald Trump is trying to stoke that and make it happen. Because that's what Russia wants. What's this? Biden impeachment inquiries eye payments from China. So they don't actually have any payments from China. There's not actually anything there. The impeachment inquiry, that is the Republicans trying to find some kind of dirt that they can impeach Biden over. They don't have any evidence, so they have to go on a fishing expedition trying to find it. If they had the evidence, we'd be hearing all about it. But we don't. They don't have anything. So they keep trying to go fishing, looking for something. Meanwhile, we actually have evidence of Donald Trump receiving bribes from China. So it's funny because Republicans are going on a fishing expedition trying to find some kind of way to connect Biden's to China. Meanwhile, there's actual evidence of China bribing Donald Trump, but Republicans don't want to look at it. Why is that? Because Republicans don't actually care about rule of law. They're only looking at rule of power. They're trying to find some way to take power away from Joe Biden and give it to Donald Trump. Not because Donald Trump or Joe Biden's a crime breaker or a lawbreaker. No, they don't mind that Donald Trump is breaking the law. What they really care about is that they want power. And so they will overlook any crime by Donald Trump. They don't really care about the crimes. They're just looking for a way to get rid of Joe Biden. And it's like, wow, dude, are Republican voters stupid? Kinda. I mean, they all listen to Fox News as their only source of information, and if you get your information from just one source, it's gonna be skewed. It's gonna mess you up. So you're kind of stupid if you only listen to one source. So a lot of Republicans like to show off this map and go, oh yeah, the United States, we're a red country. That's bullshit, right? You have to know, land does not vote. So this is a map that shows a lot of empty space. All this area here is empty. All this is empty. There's no one lives in the red areas. No one lives there. If you break down the United States in terms of population, it makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot more sense. So you find out that the United States is a pretty liberal country. The people who live in the United States it's a blue country. It's the only reason why Republicans have any power is because of the Senate. These empty places get the same number of Senate votes as California, which has got millions and millions of people. So less than a million people has equal votes as 20 million people. Kind of stupid, right? Kind of stupid. That's anti-democratic, but that's Republicans. Republicans are all about being anti-democratic. They don't like democracy. Republicans do not like democracy. This is the Drudge Report. Trump rally plagued by hecklers, protests, and QAnon chants. So remember, Donald Trump courts QAnon. QAnon is a conspiracy theorist that believes Democrats have a secret child prostitution ring, and that they take the blood of children and make something called adrenochrome. It's a big conspiracy. It's not real, right? It's like a bunch of like nonsense. But But a lot of Republicans are stupid and they fall for it, and they believe that Donald Trump is the savior, and Donald Trump does nothing to stop it. He encourages the QAnon cult to follow him. He can barely read the teleprompter. Like, yeah, Donald Trump is looking pretty bad. What's this? Civilian labor force with a disability. So this chart here shows us the civilian labor force. And you can see it's pretty steady, oh, with a disability. So pretty steady until you get to 2021, right? Then COVID happened. All of a sudden, we're seeing a big jump in workers with disability. What's this disability? Long COVID. Like this COVID attack, or this COVID pandemic, is having an effect on our workforce. It's forcing more and more Americans to work with a disability. It means that we did real bad in managing the COVID pandemic. This here, United States West opioid overdose mortality rate. If you look at all the states in the West, you see that Oregon is below Washington and around Nevada and Idaho. Or is that Idaho? What's that one? Yeah, Idaho. So even though Oregon has decriminalized drug use with Measure 110, it didn't lead to an increase in overdose deaths. The opponents of decriminalization want to say that, oh, decriminalization has made drug use worse. No, it hasn't. It's about the same as every other place. The thing is that Oregon is the first state in the nation to do something to deal with the drug problem. Every other state in the nation is using the same old method of incarceration, of criminalization, in order to tackle their drug problem. But that doesn't do anything to solve the drug problem. We have 75 years to show that it doesn't do anything. Instead, it increases misery and it enriches the carceral state. So prison people get rich. You know, if you own a prison, you get rich, and you're incentivized to lock up more people. But you're not going to actually solve the drug problem. So Oregon is the first state in the union to actually try to do something different. Well, Republicans hate that. Republicans are all about locking people up. So Republicans are very, very, very opposed to Oregon doing something different. They want Oregon to go back to locking up people and enriching the carceral state. It's not gonna. They're not really interested in solving the problem. They want to make money for prisons, because it doesn't solve the problem. It just makes people miserable, and it doesn't solve the problem. So understand that Donald Trump and Republicans are like an insurrection force. The issue is that Donald Trump didn't face any consequences for his insurrection, for his attempted coup in the United States. So since he didn't face any consequences, he's gonna do his second attempt at an insurrection. It's gonna happen, right? He's gonna do another attempt at overthrowing the government of the United States. So here's Donald Trump promising. He promises that there'll be a terror attack this year. So why could Donald Trump promise that there'll be a terror attack this year? Because Donald Trump has a shadow army. The army of cultists who only listen to what Donald Trump says. All Donald Trump has to do is put out there that he wants a terrorist attack, and his shadow army will carry it out. Here's an example.
And there's a 100% chance that there will be a major terrorist attack in the United States, or many attacks maybe. And it's all because of what's happened over the last 3 years.
Yep, Donald Trump is promising. He's ordering his shadow army to commit terrorist attacks in the United States. Did you just hear it? Donald Trump ordered his people to commit a terrorist attack this year. Why? He says because this past 3 years, right? This past 3 years, we followed the election. So Donald Trump is saying because I didn't take power in 2020, because I didn't seize power and overthrow American democracy, I'm ordering my people to stage terrorist attacks in the country. So get ready, because the Confederates are going to start attacking our country again. I mean, Greg Abbott is already using the language of the Confederates to try to instigate a war with the federal government. I don't think Joe Biden's going to take the bait, but they're trying to do it. They're trying to start a civil war. And Donald Trump is ordering his people to do it. American so this guy Dmitry Medvedev is a Russian oligarch. So he wants there to be a civil war in the United States. So this Russian guy is saying establishing a People's Republic of Texas is getting more and more real. This Russian's getting real excited about Texas seceding. Yeah, it would be the American Crimea movement. Remember when Russia took Crimea? Yeah, in 2014, Russia staged a fake election in Crimea and then used that fake election to justify seizing Crimea for itself. So that's what the Russian is suggesting is going to happen with Texas. Is that Texas is going to have a fake election and then use that fake election to try to secede and start a civil war. That's what Russia wants, and and Republicans want to do what Russia wants. So yeah, here's President Truman, former President Truman, talking about how the Zionists colonized Palestine.
1549.
But don't think that decision to recognize Israel is an easy one. I had to make a compromise with the Arabs and divide Palestine. The Jews wanted to chase all the Arabs into the Tigris and Euphrates River, and the Arabs wanted to chase all the Jews into the Red Sea. And what I was trying to do was to find a homeland for the Jews and still be just with the Arabs. But when you go into a thing of that kind, the people you help most are the ones that get most angry with you. Both of them were against me on the situation, but as President of the United States, I paid no attention to them, carried out what I thought was right, and I had the support of the Congress, and I could do it, which is unusual in these days.
Can you tell us specifically that a lot of Jewish people were against you, too?
Oh, well, there were a lot of Jewish people against me because they wanted the whole of Palestine. As I say, they wanted to drive all the Arabs into the Tigris and Euphrates River.
Yeah.
Here's Netanyahu saying the same thing. He's like,
for 30 years, I am very consistent, and I'm saying something very simple. This conflict is not on the lack of a state of Palestinian, but the existence of a state, the Jewish state. Every area that we evacuate, we receive terrible terror against that. It happened in South Lebanon, in Gaza, and also Judea and Samaria, which we did it. And therefore, I clarify that in any other arrangement, in the future, the state of Israel have to control on the entire area from the river to the sea. This is
so the Prime Minister of Israel is saying he wants to control the entire area from the river to the sea. So when he says it, he's talking about genocide. He says, I want to ethnically cleanse the whole area from the river to the sea and make it Israel. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Now, we know that land was Palestine. Even President Truman called it Palestine. He said he had to divide up Palestine in order to make a state for the Israelis. So So we know that, I mean, you can tell that the Israeli government is a fascist government bent on genocide. It wants to ethnically cleanse Gaza and the West Bank and take that land for itself. That's their goal, right? They're not from there. They're not from there. They immigrated there in waves in order to colonize Palestine. So basically, Israel is a giant settler colonial project. They want to send people from not from the region, and they move people into the region from far away to colonize it. Here, where's President Truman? Truman, tell me again, President Truman. Oh man, my desktop is all screwed up. If my desktop wasn't screwed up, this would be not an issue, but it is. Let's see, 128. No. 14. I'm looking for 14. 114. One 14, 21, 28, 7, yeah, 0114. I can't find Truman.
We had several other people in the country, even among the Jews, the Zionists particularly, who were against anything that was to be done if they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything handed to them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to do anything. It couldn't be done. We had to take it in small doses. You can't move 5 or 6 million people out of a country and fill it up with 5 or 6 million more and expect...
So, do you understand? Do you understand? Israel is a settler colonial project. They had to move 6 million people out of their country and into Palestine to colonize it. Understand it, right? Understand it. This is the genesis of the whole problem with Israel-Palestine. The area was Palestine, and the American president decided to move 6 million people not from Palestine and then implant them into Palestine. And then those 6 million people that moved there wanted to exterminate the Palestinians, to take the whole land. That is the genesis of the problem. That's the entirety of the problem right there.
Both sets of them to be pleased. We had all sorts of objections to everything that was done. Something had to be done. We went ahead and done it, and had it done, and now it...
You did the wrong thing, dude. You did the wrong thing. Action for the sake of action is stupid.
It's working out. Eventually, I think we have them all satisfied. But it's going to take a great deal of time yet to get the job done.
So this was produced in the 60s. Now we're like in 2024, and Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinian people. So it didn't work out, dude. It worked out terribly. Your colonial project failed. It's leading to genocide. So okay, now we have a genocide happening in Israel. So what happened? Man, this is all fucked up. I hate this. Here, I'm gonna move it right here. 2018. 7. 21. I never did find 14. Anyways, all right. Yeah, it's all messed up. So what happened was Israel's committing a genocide. And then South Africa took Israel to the World Court. I don't have 14. I mean, I do. Where is it? I don't know, though. It's hidden. Is it over here? No. I don't know where it went. Here, everything. 2014. Yeah, that one.
The first genocidal act committed by Israel is the mass killing of Palestinians in Gaza, in violation of Article 2A of the Genocide Convention. As the UN Secretary General explained 5 weeks ago, the level of Israel's killing is so extensive that nowhere is safe in Gaza. As I stand before you today, 23,210 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces during the sustained attacks
We're up to like
over
30,000.
the last 3 months. At least 70% of whom are believed to be women and children. Some 7,000 Palestinians are still missing, presumed dead under the rubble. Palestinians in Gaza are subjected to relentless bombing wherever they go. They are killed in their homes, in places where they seek shelter, in hospitals, in schools, in mosques, in churches, and as they try to find food and water for their families. They have been killed if they failed to evacuate. In the places to which they have fled, and even while they attempted to flee along Israeli-declared safe routes. The level of killing is so extensive that those whose bodies are found are buried in mass graves, often unidentified. In the first 3 weeks alone, following 7 October, Israel deployed 6,000 bombs per week. At least 200 times it has deployed 2,000-pound bombs in southern areas of Palestine designated as safe. These bombs have also decimated the north, including refugee camps. 2,000-pound bombs are some of the biggest and most destructive bombs available. They are dropped by lethal fighter jets that are used to strike targets on the ground by one of the world's most resourced armies. Israel has killed an unparalleled and unprecedented number of civilians, with the full knowledge of how many civilian lives each bomb will take. More than 1,800 families, Palestinian families in Gaza, have lost multiple family members, and hundreds of multi-generational families have been wiped out, with no remaining survivors. Mothers, fathers, children, siblings, grandparents, aunts, cousins, often all killed together. This killing is nothing short of destruction of Palestinian life. It is inflicted deliberately. No one is spared, not even newborn babies. The scale of Palestinian child killings in Gaza is such that UN chiefs have described it as a graveyard for children. The devastation, we submit, is intended to and has laid waste to Gaza beyond any acceptable, legal, let alone humane justification.
So Israel was taken to the World Court by South Africa. And South Africa presented its evidence, Israel presented its defense. And the result of that was, where'd it go? Over here. In simple language, the ICJ, International Criminal Court of Justice, has said that there is prima facie violation of the Geneva Genocide Convention. So, prima facie is Latin for on its face. Apparently, just by looking, you can see. Just a cursory glance, just by like on first impression, what you see is, oh, there's a genocide. Just by looking. The International Court of Justice is going to do a deeper look into it, right? They're going to look in deeper. But on its face, just apparently, it looks like Israel is committing genocide. So, specifically Articles 2A and through D. And that until a final determination is made regarding Gaza, Israel must stop killing Palestinian civilians, causing serious bodily harm to Palestinians, must stop deliberately inflicting on Palestinians conditions of life calculated to bring about the physical destruction of the Palestinian community, in whole or in part, including destroying homes and infrastructure. And Israel must stop imposing measures intended to prevent births within Palestinians. And it must stop its army and others from committing the above prima facie genocidal acts. It must stop encouraging these prima facie genocidal acts and enable the free flow of humanitarian aid. So, the International Court of Justice is like, yeah, at first look, Israel's doing genocide. So, pretty bad, right? Like, holy shit, the went before Supreme Court, Israel's doing a genocide. So, but understand that is entirely the goal of Israel. Israel's whole point is to do a genocide. Don't listen to me. Listen to what Israel government officials say.
בהחלט צריך לעודד הגירה. כמה שפחות יהיה לחץ ברצועת עזה של גורמים שנכון, הם אולי בלתי מעורבים עכשיו, אבל הם לא אוהבי ישראל ומחנכים את הילדים שלהם לטרור. הייתי רוצה, והיינו רוצים לראות, ודיברנו על זה בישיבות ממשלה. זה לא שאגב, אין מדינות שרוצות לקלוט אותם, אף אחד לא רוצה, גם אם נשלם להם הרבה מאוד כסף.
Voluntary immigration is important. How voluntary is your immigration when Israel is dropping bombs on you constantly, killing your family and your homes, and you have nowhere to go? Is that voluntary? Is that voluntary? So the war, he says, the war needs to continue. So he's interrupted, and she says, the interviewer says, despite what we're hearing, you're saying we should encourage voluntary immigration? That's the solution?
ואתה אומר, כן לעודד הגירה מרצון, כן זה הפתרון. לעודד הגירה מרצון,
וגם כופין אותו עד שיום.
So, and he says, yeah, we should encourage the Palestinians to leave Palestine. That's what he's saying. We should encourage voluntary immigration, and we should compel them until they say they want it. So in other words, we're going to hit them, we're going to keep hitting the Palestinians until the Palestinians say, okay, yes, we want to leave. How? How do you compel the Palestinians to leave their home? And he says, well, the war. The war, that's what the war is for. The purpose of the war, the purpose of Israel's war is to make the Palestinians leave Palestine so Israel can take it. That's what Bibi Netanyahu says. That's what this dude is saying. These are all Israeli government officials. They say clearly, our goal is to ethnically cleanse Gaza, ethnically cleanse the Palestinians so we can take their land. That's what they said over and over and over again. The International Court of Justice saw this and said, yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So, continue to pressure them using force, starvation. Yeah, hold on, I missed it. So, meaning to continue to pressure them using force, starvation, and difficult conditions. In other words, Israel wants to ethnically cleanse Gaza by creating conditions that are unlivable. You can't live there, Palestinians. You should leave so we can take your land. That's what they're doing. We're going to keep bombing your houses, deny you food and water, deny you medical care, and kill you until you decide to leave. That's what Israel wants to do. That's called genocide. That's genocide. That's some Nazi level shit.
כלומר, להמשיך לדחוק אותם בכוח,
אנחנו דוחקים עכשיו את החמאס לפינה, לא בתנאים קשים, אנחנו כן נותנים סיוע הומניטרי.
No, they block all the humanitarian aid. They're trying to, and then they get blown up.
תנאים קשים שם, תגיד.
תנאים קשים, נכון.
Yes, the difficult conditions, and they'll continue until Palestinians leave so that Israel can take over.
המשיכו להיות קשים, כל עוד לא נחזיר.
So, the conditions will be continued to be difficult as long as we don't bring back the hostages. So remember, Israel's war has saved 0 hostages. Israel has killed at least 3 hostages. So Israel wants to kill all of the Israeli hostages, all of the hostages, so that they don't have, so they can keep taking the land. Israel is not concerned with the well-being of the hostages. Israel is concerned with taking the land. That's what it is. They're using the hostages as an excuse to commit genocide. So it's not me saying it, right? It's not me saying that the Israelis are doing genocide. It's the International Court of Justice, and it's Israeli officials themselves that are saying they're doing genocide. That's it. That's our plan, is commit genocide. That's what they tell you, dude. Listen to what they tell you. So look at the cost. Look at the cost of this. Look at the number of dead kids. That's genocide. This is genocide. This is Israel doing genocide. Look at all those dead kids. Are you going to tell me all those dead babies are Hamas? That's bullshit. Israel is committing genocide. They're killing the Palestinian people so they can take their land. So remember though, alright, so now the International Court of Justice says that it's genocide. Israel says that it's genocide, or at least ethnic cleansing, which is like genocide. It's against the Geneva Conventions. So it's a war crime. So Israel admits to war crimes. The International Court of Justice says, yep, these are war crimes. So now it's out there. Now it's out there that Israel is committing war crimes. So understand, Israel is by far the largest recipient of U.S. foreign aid. More than anybody else, we're giving money to Israel. Do you see Ukraine on here? No, you don't see Ukraine on here because Ukraine doesn't make it to the level that Israel is getting. Ukraine's not even in the top 5. Israel gets all our money and it uses it to commit genocide against the Palestinian people. So, okay, great. Now we've established that Israel is committing genocide. Israeli officials admit that they're committing ethnic cleansing, if not genocide. They won't say genocide, but they'll admit to ethnic cleansing. So, and the United States gives them a lot of money to do it. Well, So now we have the International Court of Justice saying that Israel commits genocide and that Israel needs to stop committing genocide. Well, what did Israel say? Israel responded by accusing the UN of 12 people in the UN of helping Hamas. You're committing genocide. Well, these 12 people were helping Hamas. So So the United States ignored the finding that Israel is committing genocide, and instead, what did the United States do? It cut funding for the UNRWA. What is the UNRWA? The UNRWA is the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian refugees in the Near East. It's a UN agency that supports relief and human development of Palestinian refugees. UNRWA's mandate encompasses Palestinians displaced by the 1948 Palestine War and subsequent conflicts, as well as their descendants, including legally adopted children. As of 2019, more than 5.6 million Palestinians are registered with the UNRWA as refugees. So in other words, Israel is committing genocide, and it was found by the International Court of Justice that it was committing genocide. So in response, Israel accuses the UN of helping Hamas, and all the allies of Israel cut off funding. Why would the Israelis want to cut off the UNRWA, which helps out the Palestinian people? Why would they do that?
האתגר שלנו במלחמה הוא לחסל את האיום ולא להרתיע אותו, ואנחנו יודעים איך לחסל פעילי טרור, קשה לנו יותר עם רעיון. אונר"א זה המקור של רעיון, שאמרה עינת, היא יולדת עוד ואור, קשה לנו יותר עם רעיון. אונר"א זה המקור...
So UNRWA is the source of the idea that Palestinians are actually people, that the Palestinian people are worthy of human rights. So the idea that she wants to fight against is that Palestinians have human rights. She says, oh, that's terrible. We can't let Palestinians have human rights. So to her, every Palestinian is a terrorist. Every one of those kids who got blown up is a terrorist. So she's saying all these kids she's saying is a terrorist. Why would she say that? She must have absolute hate in her heart. She must have total hate in her heart to say that.
האתגר שלנו במלחמה הוא לחסל את האיום ולא להרתיע אותו, ואנחנו יודעים איך לחסל פעילי טרור, קשה לנו יותר עם רעיון. אונר"א זה המקור של רעיון, שאמרה עינת, היא יולדת עוד ועוד טרוריסטים בכל מיני שיטות, ואי אפשר יהיה לנצח את המלחמה.
It would be impossible to win the war if we did not destroy the UNRWA. That is why, when Israel was accused of genocide, Israel made a baseless accusation and I don't even know if it's baseless. Maybe there were some UN workers who were bad guys. Maybe, right? But it's for sure that Israel is committing genocide. And what does the United States do? The United States sides with Israel and cuts off funding to the UN. As a way...
וההשמדה הזו חייבת להתחיל מיד. זה לא רלוונטי לדבר על היום שאחרי. ביום שעכשיו אנחנו חייבים לפעול להכיר...
They want to get rid of the agency that supports the Palestinian people. So just so you know, right? So the United States people in America, the majority of people in the United States want a ceasefire. They don't want to facilitate Israel's genocide of Gaza. They want a ceasefire, the majority of people. However, Joe Biden is ignoring what the Americans want in order to support genocide in Israel. He bypassed Congress twice to make sure that Israel got tank rounds to blow up Palestinian people. And when the International Court of Justice found that Israel was committing genocide, Joe Biden responded by defunding the agency that supports humanitarian relief for the Palestinian people in support of Israel's genocide. Great. Is that all? Like, it's already costing us $350 billion. But what else is it costing us? Like, is that it? No. Where's it at? Because of the United States support of Israel, our forces are getting attacked all over the Middle East. Our forces in Syria, our forces in Iraq, and our forces in the Red Sea. The Americans are getting attacked to support. Why? Because Joe Biden wants to support the genocide of the Palestinian people. And what did that end up doing? Where's it at? 3 U.S. service members were killed and at least 24 injured in a drone attack on a base in Jordan on the border with Syria. So these were army. So Joe Biden is sacrificing American lives to help Israel commit genocide. So we just lost 3 people so that they can kill more children. Look what Israel's doing. So we sacrificed 3 of our people so that Israel can kill more babies. Now, we have an election coming up here real soon for president. And as it is, there's no way in hell I would ever vote for Donald Trump. He's an insurrectionist. He's on Team Russia. So there's no way I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. However, what I'm hearing from Joe Biden is that Joe Biden doesn't care what the American people think. Joe Biden is willing to sacrifice American lives to help Israel commit genocide. And we know it's a genocide, right? It's not a question if it's a genocide or not. It's for sure genocide. Even the Israeli officials admit it's ethnic cleansing. So all the American people are saying, no, we don't want to participate in this, but Joe Biden is ignoring us and sacrificing American lives just so he can help the Israelis commit genocide. Why would I want to vote for Joe Biden after he ignores me in order to sacrifice American troops for genocide? My choices are an insurrectionist and a traitor in Donald Trump, or a genocider in Joe Biden. Like, at this point, it doesn't seem like I have anyone to vote for president. Like, I don't have anyone to vote for. I'm not going to vote for an insurrectionist, and I'm not going to vote for genocide. Especially Joe Biden's genocide that puts our troops at risk. How many American service members died in support of Ukraine? 0. 0 people died supporting Ukraine. But when Joe Biden wants to help Israel commit genocide, he sacrificed 3 people already. Already 3 Americans sacrificed so Israel can kill Palestinian children. Yeah, dude, you lost my vote. And I'm going to tell everyone about what you did. Sorry, guy, but American lives are not worth it to help Israel commit genocide. And it's not like it's gonna stop, right? You're gonna keep sacrificing American troops until Israel finishes the genocide. I mean, that's what you've signaled, right? Anytime Israel has been found to commit genocide, you've doubled down. Joe Biden's doubled down on the genocide. So that's great, right? What is the result of Joe Biden doubling down on genocide? Well, Joe Biden went before a black church in order to get their support, and there are protests. He met protests for the Palestinian people to stop the genocide. So, that poor Joe Biden, or whatever, Joe Biden. So then Joe Biden went before a women's group to talk to them about abortion, why they should vote for Joe Biden. And what happened? He was confronted with protesters that calling for the end of the genocide. So then Joe Biden went before the unions to try to get the unions to help out. And what had happened? Joe Biden met a bunch of protesters who were protesting against Joe Biden's genocide. So Joe Biden thinks he can like power through the genocide. He's like, oh yeah, the American people will forget what I've done and they'll support me anyways. No, Joe Biden, that's not how it works. Democrats are not like Republicans. Democrats aren't in a cult of personality. Donald Trump could rape a woman, could work with Russia to steal the election. He can break all sorts of laws And the Republicans will still vote for him because Republicans are in a cult of personality. Their only interest is in power. But Democrats aren't like that. Democrats are not a cult of personality. You can't just betray all the values of Democrats and expect them to vote for you anymore. Like, it's Donald Trump can be a criminal and his voters don't care. But Democratic voters do care if you're a criminal. And if you're helping genocide, if you're facilitating genocide and sacrificing American lives for the sake of genocide, yeah, you're not going to get those votes. Remember when Joe Biden tried to go to Michigan to talk before an Arab group? They told him, don't come, don't even bother, you're not welcomed here. So Joe, maybe after 5 or 6 times, Joe Biden, you're going to get the hint that no one likes what you're doing, and you're not going to get their vote. I don't know what the Dems are going to do. What are the Democrats going to do? Their dude is like, maybe Joe Biden's too old to understand the way the world works nowadays, because information flows a lot more freely than it did back in the day. So maybe he was hoping that Americans would forget and that he could just take their vote anyways, but it's not going to work out that way. You can already tell with every time you show up, Joe Biden, there's going to be a protest. Every time you already sacrificed 3 Americans for genocide. You think we're going to forget that? I don't know what you're going to do, Dems. I don't know what you're going to do, because I'm not voting for Joe Biden. Alright, I think that's it for now. It's a short show this week. This is my farm. I'm working on it. The United States is in some serious trouble here. We don't have any leadership anymore. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. And then the Republicans are trying to push for a civil war. While we have no leadership. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I can't be all optimistic because I don't know. We were betrayed by... Joe Biden betrayed the United States by engaging in genocide, and he's sacrificing Americans so that Israel can commit genocide. Israel is the #1 recipient of foreign aid, so they can commit genocide. Joe Biden bypassed Congress twice so that he can help Israel commit genocide. I don't know what's going to happen. Anyways, sorry to leave on a dour note, but I don't got anything for you now. I got nothing. So until maybe something will happen. I don't know. Until next week, this is Pogokido. Out. Peace. Stop.